Well, this year's TechPoint Foundation for Youth Bridge Builder Award goes to Dr. Carlotta Berry. She is a professor of electrical and computer engineering at Rosebud Institute of Technology in Terre Haute. Dr. Berry, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and congratulations. Yours is a really remarkable story. And I know in talking to some of the people at TechPoint, they say you are a rock star in education for what you've done. So it's very impressive and really focused so much on your work in support of women and minorities in engineering and STEM fields that I think connects back to your time in college, maybe at Georgia Tech. When you looked around the classroom, there weren't a whole lot of people who looked like you.
Absolutely. I thought engineering was really cool, really exciting, and really fun, but I saw a lot of opportunities to diversify it because I think all people could benefit from that experience.
Yeah, as you look at some of your efforts, and they are numerous, you arrived at Rosebud Institute of Technology 15 years ago, and about a year later, you and another person there at Rose founded the Rosebud Program. Talk about what that is all about and the impact that the Rosebud Program is having.
So Dr. Deborah Walter and I started the NSF STEM grant. It was a $600,000 grant to diversify STEM, in particular to recruit more women and minoritized and marginalized populations to electrical and computer engineering and computer science and software engineering. And it's really taken off. All these years later, we're graduating about 25 to 30 students a year. They get a scholarship, there's mentoring, there's peer mentoring and faculty mentoring. They do a lot of social networking as well, like preparing them for the career fair. They're required to do internships, co-ops, as well as research experiences. And the school is telling us just because of the presence of our program, the number of women recruited in general on campus has improved as well.
Wow, that is impressive. A program really making a difference, to be sure. But that's not the only program you're associated with. Actually, during the pandemic last year, you founded both Black in Engineering and Black in Robotics. Talk about those groups, those organizations, and the goals there.
Absolutely. I started Black in Engineering with Dr. Tahira Reed and Dr. Monica Cox, and it was actually in response to the hashtag Black in the Ivory trending on Twitter, where people were sharing their experiences in STEM as a minoritized or marginalized academic. And we noticed there were not a lot of engineering posts, and we knew there are a lot of people of color who are engineers, so we formed this organization so we could create a call to action to become an anti-racist institution. We also have a video campaign on YouTube that's become very popular, where we educate people about our experiences to connect with allies and advocates. At the same time, I also started Black in Robotics with another group of colleagues, Dr. Ayanna Howard and Dr. Monroe Kennedy, where we talk about there's not a lot of Black roboticists who are academics in the world. So we would like to find ways to cite them more, include them in research, and also to consider diversity when designing robotic systems so that we can eliminate bias in robotics as well.
Yeah, I know you've been such a driver in these programs and these initiatives, but I know you also you want to say something to Rosebud Institute of Technology, Rose, and their support of your initiatives.
Absolutely. You know, Rose is all about innovation and creativity, and I can truly say that if I think it and I imagine it, they support it. Yeah. They amplify my work so well, and I appreciate that so much. And because of that, I'm able to get awards like the Mira Award, as well as several others. I'm actually on sabbatical and have been since March of 2020, pretty much. And I have received so many accolades since then, having that time to rejuvenate and refocus. So I want to thank them for giving that time to me.
Yeah, that's outstanding. Your research area of interest is robotics and human interface. And I think that's fascinating, getting a lot of attention now. And it has real application for a state like Indiana with a heavy manufacturing presence, AI, robotics, really changing the face there. So your research focus, I think, is of great importance here in Indiana.
Thank you. Yeah, I do a lot of work on human-robot interaction. I've also done several presentations with colleagues on AI bias, a big one right now, where the police dogs that were in New York City a couple of weeks ago. But you always want to look at how people respond to robots and how they'll be able to work with robots in order to improve the world and make it better and to eliminate bias in AI.
Yeah, and as we were talking before we started the interview, that human element, you know, a lot of people are fearful of artificial intelligence and robotics because of taking the human equation out, but you say that human interaction is an important part of the equation.
It's absolutely key, but a big part of what scares people is the movies, right? A lot of what you see in the movies is not reality, but that could scare you to death, thinking a robot's going to come kill me tomorrow, right? So a lot of what we have to do as researchers is constantly educating people about what's reality and what's in the movies. And we create robots to create a better place for us, not to scare us to death.
Final question for you, and that's what's next. You've created so many initiatives and organizations that are truly having a difference. You can point to those, but as you look going forward, are there more things you see in the future that will get behind efforts that are important to you?
Yes, absolutely. I just became the Giacoletto Endowed Chair in Electrical and Computer Engineering at Rose-Hulman. And a big part of my platform is to continue to diversify STEM by doing outreach for K through 12 through robotics workshops that are virtual and online, which makes sense during the pandemic. And also, I'm looking to write a book about Black women in STEM to normalize and market seeing more Black people doing engineering.
An incredible career continuing to make a real difference. The TechPoint Foundation for Youth Bridge Builder Award winner, Dr. Carlotta Berry, professor at Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology. Dr. Berry, thanks again so much. Congratulations on the award.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And thank you, TechPoint Foundation for Youth, for the honor.